Wait 5 seconds, but
you're there.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and this is Rod Alley, and we are getting ready to start the webinar. Just a couple minutes away from going totally live with, well, I guess we are live now, but we're a couple minutes early, so we'll give a few more minutes for people to show up, like maybe, what's our time? About 3 or 4 minutes for people to show up. So I'm going to cover a few different kinds of topics today and hope that people will say we want more of this and less of that. So last week, for example, I covered a couple of products that I thought would be real handy in helping us with the building of our OTP as we build it out. And one of them was that Air Live Drive, which happened to be a free product from Shareware on Sale. However, I looked into it, and yes, you could. To follow the license agreements, you really would have had to sign up for 3 or 4 different copies if you have more than one BPS, for example, because each license, even though they gave you the pro version for free for a year, each license was only good for one installer, one computer. So when I looked into it, it looks like I'm going to end up buying that other product called Expand Drive, and it's $50, and it's registered per person. So you could have as many installs as you wanted for $50 and install it on all your VPSs. And it also had an additional feature, which I really liked, in that it breaks up your file transfers into 5 different streams and then pieces the streams back together after it gets there. So it makes, if you're dealing with slow internet in any of the situations, it makes the downloads way, way faster. So that's a good thing to know about. And they don't even have an affiliate program, so I couldn't pass you a link on this one. So I missed an opportunity, but the name of the product there was Expand Drive, EXPANDRIVE.com. So if you're interested in that, let's see what else. Today we're going to talk about niche research, or find it. Basically, we're going to start with the biggest overall question: what do I want to sell? What's my niche? Well, now a lot of different people will have different definitions of a niche, and my friend Doug tends to get crazy when you start calling things like pets a niche, or you call internet marketing a niche, or make money online a niche. So those are such broad topics. And really, they don't, under a true marketer's definition, they don't qualify as a niche. They qualify as a big overall product category, maybe, but you need to drill down in order to really find what's called a niche. A niche is a specific audience. One of the best things that, oh, by the way, I'm stealing some content from our friend Kim, who had put together a nice presentation way back in August of last year, so August of 2017. And so you may want to go back and hear her presentations, especially sometimes her voice is easier to listen to than mine, and she's just a whole lot prettier. So you may want to go back and listen to her go through this, but I'm going to switch screens real quick. I believe I am. And switch to over.
There's a great comment brought on the group there from you're mentioning different niches. There's nothing worse than having a niche you can't scratch.
Yeah. Very good, Douglas.
That was Douglas Halfpenny.
He's another Canadian. likes to give a sense of humor. All right, I think this is the screen I want. That's not the screen I want.
We had your screen and now it's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, got you back again.
I keep getting back to. All right, I'll just stick with one screen and move stuff over is what I'll do. A couple of things that I wanted to point out that I like to do. Everybody has their own techniques for organizing. And I think you'll find that Doug and I each have some pretty unique techniques. So at different times, I may share a tool or two that I like to use to organize things. I know in the past I've talked about when I bring up Chrome, for example, I like to use a couple of tools in there. Geez, I'm now showing that. Let me see if I can get off of that and go to a different. Can you see that still? Okay. What are you seeing? Are you seeing Evergreen Profit Community? I'm not. All of a sudden, I lost my ability to look at the screen.
Yes, see that face.
A couple of things that I like to use. I love this thing called Speed Dial 2. And why I like it is when I go to new tab, you'll see that I can store an awful lot of bookmarks here in a visual fashion. And I like to, like, there's my normal, this is my, what I call my home page, but it's a lot of the websites I probably use the most. Whenever my wife's here, she's got hers. If I'm building websites, I've got a bunch of them for different hostings and different domain companies and that kind of stuff. There's my financial sites, there's some grocery stores and so on and so forth. And you can just do as many of those pages as you want. And that Speed Dial 2 works in both Firefox and Chrome, so it's kind of handy. Another thing I like to do is this little thing from Stardock Software called Fences. And since I just built this machine recently, I don't have my fences all set up like I did on my last machine, but it's pretty cool in that on your desktop, you can create as many of these as you want and title it. And you can keep little, all this, like if I want, let's say I have different clients, I can put everything I want to, everything that I need to work with for that client could be in this little space here. And it'll actually let you switch from desktop to you can make more than many desktops if you want. So I could have one desktop that just has the client A stuff on it. Or and the cool thing about this is that it lets me not only have bookmarks to web pages, but it also lets me have programs, folders, files, any kind of quick, basically shortcut to anything that's on my hard drive or anything on the web. That's called Fences, and it's a pretty cool little thing. I think you can get it for $10 from Stardock Software. Stardock, Stardock. Again, no affiliate relationship, just something that I find is pretty handy to help you stay organized. You can see I also like to use these little sticky notes that come with Windows and just keep different reminders up here. But those are just some of my ways. Doug just came up with a thing for Firefox that I just started trying to use called Tree Tabs. So when I'm in Firefox, I think it's going to, basically, I think it's going to show up.
Click.
Over here. Yeah, they're over here on the right-hand side today for some reason. but all the open tabs can show up over here as in a tree. And Doug finds that pretty handy. And I'll let him show that off more because he knows a lot more about it. I'm just brand new to it. Thought it was kind of cool. So those are some plugins, add-ons, that type of stuff that you might check out to help you stay organized. Now, let's get into the meat of the webinar. We'll start with niche. What is a niche? And Kim, this is actually borrowed from Kimmy from last year. So it was on my birthday of 2017. And they've got a great article here that you could actually go find yourself. And what I'm going to do when I get all done with this, I didn't have time to get a handout out for in time for the webinar, but I'll go ahead and turn this much of this content into a handout so you can remember. But if you go to nichehacks.com, they've got a real good article on basically how to narrow down your niche. And they've got what is a niche market, what makes a good niche market, how do I follow passion or money? Many articles that people often ask when searching for a niche. And I'll reveal, I've been looking for about a week or week and a half. I've been thinking about finding a new niche, one that I haven't previously been in, and kicking around a whole bunch of ideas. And when I do that, I kind of just open my mind for a week or so. And I first I start out by listing some of my criteria. So I make a little checklist like so, and figure out which of these items are most important or least important and kind of prioritize them. For example, some things to consider on when you're choosing a niche. Do you want it to be evergreen? Evergreen is nice and handy because of the fact that I don't have to constantly change products. Like in internet marketing, as especially if I'm doing internet marketing or affiliate marketing for internet marketing products, you'll see that within a few weeks of a product launch, you'll probably want to end up changing out the product to something else. If you find a really good evergreen product, that's not necessary. You could just continue to make new content, new videos, new whatever that continues to point to that same product. And so that can be kind of convenient. Another important factor to consider is the income that I'm making for the product. Is it a one-time buy, or is it something residual, or is it or are there repeat customers? I love residual income, as I'm sure most people do. If you can find a product that you make the sale one time and it continues to pay you for many months, that's a real good thing. And that's one of the reasons why I like selling Cliff stuff, because you make the sale one time and often people stay for many months, sometimes even many years. And you continue to make a check every month for that sale. Another thing you might want to consider is, is the item seasonal? And there are certain people that love seasonal niches. Like, for example, there are people that do enough business on Black Friday that the rest of the year they can kind of coast. And there are people that do Halloween and Easter things that do very well as well. So sometimes seasonal is good. You have to look at what's important to you. High demand is always good. Big ticket, big ticket items can be tougher to make that initial sale at times, depending on how much warm up you do. But who doesn't like to make a big a $3,000 commission versus a $30 commission or a $3 commission. And also when I said seasonal, there are some items that one of the ones that I'm considering doing is I'm thinking about the motorcycle niche. I've been in my since I've been in my late 20s, probably, I promised myself that sooner or later I'm going to get around to affording a motorcycle, and maybe it'll just end up being a moped at this point. I don't know, but I'm going to get me some kind of motorized vehicle that I can feel the wind in where it used to be hair. And I decided that I'm going to find a niche that lets me realize that, and I pay for it with just the proceeds from that niche. And so it's going to be something to do with motorcycles or motorcycle equipment or accessories or just content about motorcycles. One way or another, I'm going to find a way to make money on the topic of motorcycles and make enough to buy myself one. And my goal is by summertime of this coming year of 2019, I'll have that. So I'm going to probably do a little bit of a case study and share it with people on how I go about accomplishing that. All right, so back to how do I go about selecting a niche? Well, one of the things that I first do, whenever I'm kind of in a topic that I'm not super comfortable with or super familiar with, I go check out what some of my favorite marketers like to say about a topic. Well, who are some of my favorite marketers? Besides Cliff, as you guys know, I really like a guy named Jack Duncan and the Market Bold page. Gosh, you can spend forever on his page. Here's his page. And sure enough, when I plug in the word, I go to just the marketbold.com page, and I plug in the word niche, and I get two great articles right away. One's just how to find a profit affiliate marketing niche, which is great for affiliate marketing. And then the other is any kind of internet marketing niche, which he's using an example of beta fish food. So it could be any kind of product. And they're pretty good reads in his blog on the topic of finding niches. Of course, he's got some great keyword tools there. I really like the Trend Miner one and the Question Spy one. And I'll include our affiliate links in the handout that I make for this. I'm going to make a PDF of that kind of organizes this content a little, because I know I'm a little bit off, rambling around and moving around fast. So I'll give a handout that kind of helps you get through the content. And some of this came from Kim from a year ago, like I said. So you may want to find her webinar from a year ago. We'll help you find it in the forum. One of the things you also might like to choose is something you're going to be passionate about, or as you learn it, is you're actually you're having some fun learning about it. If I were to choose, let's say, knitting as a niche, I would be bored to tears. It would become work and drudgery real fast, because I just don't have any interest in knitting at all. But if I chose something like the motorcycle thing, for example, I'm going to have fun learning about that and doing my research and finding content and all. That's going to be fun for me. So it helps. It helps if you don't make it all. It makes it into less work if you choose a topic that you're somewhat interested in and passionate about. Also, make sure you choose a niche. In that one article that I was showing you, where it said, should I chase the money or should I chase the passion? You definitely don't want to choose a niche that's uncomfortable for you, such as adult type stuff, or there are just certain niches you can think of that they just make you want to groan when you see them. So, where's some other good places to find some topic ideas? Now, a minute ago, I started to talk about what is a niche really, and that one article that I just showed you from nichehacks.com was a great place, a good discussion on what really is a niche. We don't really think of pets, for example, as a niche, and really dogs isn't a niche. And some people think it is, but more you'll do better when you drill down to a particular breed or size or type of dog. People, as you get more specific, you'll find people are more passionate. You're not going to find the same passion about dogs in general as you are if you find a group of Pomeranian owners and they love talking about their Pomeranians and showing pictures of their little babies and all. I'm telling you, you'll do a lot better selling Pomeranian shirts and mugs and all of that to people that own Pomeranians than you will general dog cups to people that own dogs. So some places that you can go to get some ideas. You can go to listburst.com. It shows a lot of top 10 type lists. A lot of people like to use Google search. And what do I mean by that? Well, I could just go to Google. Make sure I'm in Google. And I can use what's called their search suggestion tool. And I could type in like how to and just see what comes up. How to make slime, how to tie a tie, how to lose weight fast, how to group. These are all highly searched terms here. And I can even go how to A, and it gives me everything you like. And I can do every letter of the alphabet. How to B, how to boil eggs, bake chicken, bake salmon, be single, buy stock, or be happy. The top 10 things, so I could just do that all the way through the letters of the alphabet. So Google search is a great way to, using the search suggestion tool can just help you get all ideas. Some other terms that you could try to enter into the list would be things like, where'd my notes go? Embarrassing. You could put in, let's see here. You could put in things like how to get, tips for, help with, cure for, products for, embarrassed about, and best into that Google search suggestion tool. So if I just typed in best and then the letter A, it gives me best antivirus, best air fryer. So you can get a ton of ideas this way. Some other places to get ideas are, you could go into any search tool, keyword search tool, and do the same thing I just did in the search suggestion for Google. You could, for example, if we use the link swarm keyword tool, you could do the same thing I just did, type in the word best and see what comes up, and a lot of highly searched terms will come up. Some other places to get ideas. There's a great site called buzzsumo.com, and you can do a search for top 10, and you'll just come up with ideas, more ideas than you can shake a stick at. Amazon.com is a great place to get ideas. They not only have a trends place for what's hot, what's selling, but you can also look at various books that are on the bestseller list and look at the table of contents to find sub niches. eBay Pulse, another great place to find hot items, trends. Offervault.com is a great place to find good offers for any niche you can think of. Like if I type in motorcycles or motorcycle accessories, there'll be something there that I can sell through a CPA offer. Magazines.com and browse the top categories. I like to just go every now and then, just take a trip to a bookstore and go through their magazine rack and just kind of look at what's there and what's seems to be hot items and what seems to be trends and what are people talking about a lot. National Enquirer, look at the ads. Dummies.com is another good place. They've done a ton of research on but from their dummies books, they've got a lot of ideas there on what people want a basic course on. Flippa.com, look at the sites turning a profit. ClickBank, go look for high gravity products. Boardreader.com. jbzoo.com, of course. Click to sell you. There's a whole bunch of places. We've mentioned they don't call it Commission Junction anymore. It used to be CJ.com, but if you type in CJ, it takes you to whatever they call it now. Infomercials are there are other many other affiliate networks, and one of the best ways to find them, just go to Google and type in affiliate networks. Or one of the things that I used to like to do, I would type in instant pay. So you can find some of the topics that you could make a quick buck on. But if you just type in affiliate networks, you're going to get just tons of places to look. Things like Market Health. You can you'll just come up with more affiliate networks than you can shake a stick at. And like I said, another one of my favorite places to go is offervault.com. Here, these are all lists of all the various networks that you can make an affiliate profit from. Generally, these are called CPA networks or cost per action networks. And there are networks in here for anything from you get $1.50 for getting somebody to put their email list down. Those are called zip submits or email submits. Sometimes you can make 50 cents for getting someone to just put in their zip code. And with those, you might say, well, geez, who cares about 50 cents? Well, the barrier for entry is lower. So you can get, sometimes with the right marketing strategies, you can get, say, half of the people that go there to say, sure, I'll give them my zip code. That's not anything. So, with low barrier of entry, that you're not even being asked for your email address. Yeah, you'll find that there's a whole lot more higher conversion rates. So in this offer.com, there's just tons and tons of networks, and I could put a search term in here, like watch me type in motorcycle. Accessories. And there'll be something that comes up here. I haven't done this before though, so assuming I spelled everything right. It'll come up with some networks that are, here's one, bikebandit.com, online shopping. So you can see there's various offers that have to do with just about anything you want to type in. Okay. If you're ever down and I have a night when I'm having trouble sleeping, turn on the TV and just start flipping through the infomercials, and that'll give you some ideas as to what's selling well, because they don't run those infomercials unless they're making money. There's lots of other places here. As seen on PC.com, there's as seen on TV.com, and a number of similar type sites that will show you all the different things that where you can be an affiliate to just about anything that's on the web, on the infomercials. And I don't want to spend too much more time on each one of these, but you can just see a ton of sources here for ideas on where to find a niche. And then when I find that niche, I make myself a little checklist here and put my top priorities here and see which ones for the motorcycles, is it evergreen? Well, yeah, people aren't going to probably lose interest in it. So I might check that box. Residual? No, probably not. Seasonal? Yeah, kind of. Especially, in the northern parts of the country, you don't see too many people riding their motorcycle when it's in January or December. High demand, yeah, well, you can assess that. There's lots of different, as we go through this and we continue on through product research and keyword research, I'm going to show you a bunch of places where you can get a sense for how many people are searching for these topics at a time. And then, of course, we talked about big ticket and weather dependency. This kind of goes with seasonal, but not entirely in that. In Florida and California and places like that, motorcycle riding isn't seasonal. But for things like Black Friday and all that, that's definitely seasonal. It only happens once a year. Halloween costumes only once a year. So I remember when I was in the niche for a while of building sheds, and you didn't get much action at all during the winter for that, and yet springtime you could see some serious interest in it. And then as summer progressed, it would tailor off and totally die off during the winter, and then back to spring, and there it was, decent again. All right, so that's pretty much most of what we want to cover on how do I find the niche or come up with ideas on what my niches might want to be, and then how do I narrow them down to what is a topic that I really am interested in and could see myself selling and visualizing success in. So at this point, I believe it's time to turn it over to my friend Doug and let him do some, he's going to show you how to use a tool for local marketing that we call Local Mash Beast Edition. And also, I'm going to give the opportunity, in case I glossed through something or there was something else that either Doug or Kim wanted to add to what I've said, I'll give them the opportunity to do that, because a lot of times they cover my back and keep me from forgetting something. So, Dougie, it's all yours.
I'm just going to check and see if there's any questions in the group on what you've covered. Nobody got any questions? Man, you must have done a great job, Ron.
Oh, either that or I totally put them to sleep.
Couple of things that I might mention when I'm looking at a particular niche. I'll do a long list of keywords on that niche, and then I use a tool from Marketable, which is free, and it's called Keyword Grouper Pro. And it is great because you can take your list of keywords, throw it through there, and it will sort them out where it finds like keywords, and it'll give you some very good ideas that you can be using as a specific traffic network. Marty's been really good at throwing in niche packs in the group for you guys. And you can see how specific that they actually get. So many people will ask about marketing their Amazon store, their e-com store, or whatever. And they kind of do it the wrong way by just pointing something at a home page. Well, when your visitor gets there, they now have to make a decision. Where do I go next? And quite often it's hit the back button. When you have a niche pack like Marty's been showing you guys, you have something very specific. Set up a specific page for those types of products and make sure that you direct people right there. So it's just a matter of, oh yeah, look at these. This is neat. What's this one about? Because now it's related to the traffic network that you built. So try to make it as specific as possible if you can. You'll find you'll get a lot better conversions out of your traffic networks that way. You have anything you wanted to add, Kim?
Well, one thing I like to do is use the keyword tool you have in Link Swarm, and I like to put in like how to get, where to buy, and those types of words. And you'd be surprised all the different stuff you never thought of that comes up.
Okay, well, I guess
Yeah,
we're done.
I had one more thing I wanted to add. There's another place that I wanted to show people about. These guys used to sell a newsletter for $97 a month, and I joined it for almost a year, and I found their content to be pretty intriguing and teach me a lot about marketing. And they've got a Facebook group now just called Evergreen Profits, and then they have a closed community called let's see here. This is the open one, and then there's another one that they have closed that I think you can get into called okay, I guess this is the Evergreen Profits it's run by Matt Wolf and Joe Fire, and I'm not an affiliate for them or anything like that. Just mentioning it's a good place to find content about marketing, and they cover lots of different interesting topics about how to get more traffic to your website and all kinds of different things, different ways to. But the place that if I had a week to just spend learning marketing type topics, go to the Market Bold and you'll see you'll see some great topics here. And in fact, when we get to the keyword research topic again, or which is going to be coming up, I'm going to, there's an article about 5 pages deep in the blog. I just find the blog. Here, I know. Let me get there. Well, here, I'll just do this. Type in marketable.com/blog. He has 110 some odd pages down here. Now I can't remember how I got there, but he has 110 different full pages of topics here, and everything from video marketing, WordPress sites, different themes in WordPress sites, and how to get the best out of them. And you could spend, I could literally spend a week there just absorbing content, and it's all free, of course. So I highly invite you to go and spend some time at that place. And then there's a whole bunch of Facebook groups that you can join on marketing, and just Google the topic of niche marketing, and you'll find all kinds of places to go visit. But I really am a big fan of Market Bold, and here's where I was talking about. You got 101 pages here, and you could just get down one of these rabbit trails forever. Like in one of these next coming up is going to be, I think it might be page 7. Oh, I love this Keyword Filter Pro tool. I just finally went and watched this video, and it's only like 5 minutes to watch to learn how to use it. Gosh, I love that tool. You get a big list of keywords. It'll help you get, them into manageable size groups. The same way as it's not exactly like the tool that that Doug was just telling you about, but there's one in here very, very close to the front. There's 33 different sources to find keywords that nobody else is using. And I don't suggest that you use all 33 necessarily, but just finding one or two that resonate with you, and finding keywords that are off the beaten path. You go to Uber Suggest or one of the more common tools, Keyword Shitter, you're going to get the same old keywords. Highly suggest you try to get off the beaten path a little bit, and that article will help you do that with 33 different sources to find keywords that.
It's right on the front page, Rod.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
I would just need to click the icon at the top.
There it is, right there on page 1. So, and Jack just has a pretty, I find him very interesting to just whatever topic he's talking about. And I'm also on his email list. So he generally, his are one of the few emails I actually look for and try to read. That's all I got for now. Go ahead, Dougie.
Okay, you want to
unshare my screen?
Share your screen there.
Sure. I think I gave it back to you.
Yep. Send everybody down the. There we go. Get off of that page quick. Okay. Get that off the screen. And we're going to be talking about Local Mash Beast Edition. You can find this in your Locustware control panel. And although it has the word local in it and was envisioned as a product for local people, local marketing, I should say, it can be used for so much more. So we'll get into that as we go a little bit further along. Running it is pretty simple. You select state. They're all right here. We'll pick Utah, say, and then click Run the Program. And what the program's doing is it's going out to databases of the zip codes. And it's grabbing all the zip codes and finding all the cities, counties, states, and of course you have the zip code there that belong to each of those zip codes. So we do them one state at a time, and yes, it only covers the US. However, don't forget, the US is just outside your arm's reach. There's no reason you can't be marketing to the US any more than anybody, or any less than anybody else. It's very easy. And so this works for anybody. And once you get the idea of using local MASH to do it for the US, you can go out and find this information elsewhere for other countries as well. But local MASH Beast Edition right now, it just does the US. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a little pop-up come up here once it's done the collection of these zip codes. It's going to ask us what format that we want to see all the data in. Because obviously you can combine them in many different ways. We all know about combinations now because of OTP. But, excuse me, you have to pick one that is close to the way that you want to present your data. So once this comes, there we go. There's the pop-up now. So I will click on that, and we can see various different ways that Cliff has set it all up. I believe there's like 103 different combinations that he's chosen there. So we're going to say pick something like this one. And would you like to include the latitude and longitude into your list? I don't do this for typical marketing for my YouTube videos, but I do use it quite often for injecting metadata into videos and images. So if you're going to use some of this information for that, then I would definitely get your latitude and longitude. It's amazing how Google does recognize that. So we'll just click the button. And there we go. So I've shown it to you with the city, the county, the state printed out in full, the state abbreviation, the zip code, and the longitude and latitude. Now, typically what I would do with all this information when I've got it for a state, because I'll probably be reusing it for many more things, or I may want to manipulate some of that data in Excel or something like that, I come down to export as CSV, export the current worksheet. Just get rid of that. We come up to Beast Local MASH. I can type in Utah. Open that up and just save my my CSV file in there. So everything's there. Now, what I will do is if I'm going to be using this data right now, I can do some quick manipulation right within the program itself. So if I wanted to just have the city, the county, the abbreviation of the state, not full state, and I don't want the longitude and latitude, I can select this and go delete. Select that one, go delete. Select that one, go delete. And now I've got the data in the format that I want it. So that when I go and come out of here, it will take all that data and put it for me in a nice text format that I can use. Now, if I was going to be doing just, say, one county, I could then use the filter tool that Cliff has put in here. And so if we cancel out of this for 1 second, say I want to do this county, that's the only county that I'm going to be doing my, my work on. So I can come into the filter tool, I can select keep entries. As we read above, it says keep entries. This filter will keep only titles that contain the word phrase you specify. And then if I put in Duchesne, D-U-C-H-E-S-N-E, and click OK, it will shorten that list right down to just having Duchesne. For this example, I'm going to leave that for right now because, and I don't want to save that, because I want to use all the results from Utah. I'm going to be going after the whole state. It's a nice small state. And I'm going to go after it for roofing. So all I need to do now is to come into here and select the whole table. And of course, I didn't want to do that. I want to copy it. And then I can bring up OTP. And here I've put my keywords in the Title I box. And what I'm going to do is in the Title 2 box is I'm going to paste in all my geographic references. So now what OTP is going to do when I fill in all these other boxes the way I want them and I get it running, it's going to take this first line here, roofer in, and it's going to add to it Altamont, Duchesne, Utah 84001. Then it's going to go roofer in Altamont, Duchesne, Utah 84002. And it's going to keep going through the whole list till I've got all the geographic references done. In order to do that, it's going to require 39,131 combinations or 39,131 pages to do all that. Now I have a short list of roofer keywords. I'm just using it as an example for everyone tonight. But this should give you a pretty quick idea how you can use this for local marketing. And I've seen some people mention in the questions, about local marketing. Well, I'm not near this or I'm not near that. Local marketing is local to your client that you're doing the work for. It's not local to you. So remember that I can do local marketing in Miami, Florida, even though I'm in Vancouver, Canada. I can do local marketing in London, England, even though I'm in Vancouver, Canada. Local marketing is your client's local region, not your local region. The world is my oyster, as they say. So the beauty about doing this kind of work with Local MASH is that you take your keywords that you've got in titles box 1 and you make the best keyword list you can, because you're going to make multiple traffic networks out of that, all going to specific areas. If you wanted to do it out of each state, you could build up 50 traffic networks. If you wanted to do it into localized areas, you're going to have thousands of traffic networks. But think of how you're going to dominate. I want to mention, everybody says, well, who the heck would ever search for roofer in Altamont, Duchesne, Utah 84001? Well, you know what? When you create your titles, you're not creating a title that is exactly what somebody's going to type in. You're creating it also for Google to know what this title is all about. Google knows where Utah is. It knows the Duchesne County. It knows Altamont, the city or town, and it knows the zip code. So when you log on to your residential internet and you start typing, what happens is Google pretty near knows the approximate area where you live, and it will know that if you're looking for a roofer, hey, I've got some information for you. So that just now gives me a whole bunch more shots getting somebody's attention than someone that just says roofer in Altamont. So this is what happens when you start using geographic regions. It lets Google know where you're marketing whatever you've got in the left-hand box. So what you can also do, rather than just thinking about marketing services like roofers and plumbers and electricians, the typical stuff, what happens if we were marketing a product, dog collars, and we said dog collars in Altamont, Duchesne, Utah 84001? Next time somebody's looking online for dog collars and you've got that geographic region covered, guess who they just might see a page from? So it does create a lot more keywords for you and allows you to build out your networks, but it gives you so much power by using this for almost anything that you want. So do think of Local MASH as not just a local marketing tool, but something that you can use for almost any product to give you that little extra nudge above the next guy, because that's what we're all looking for all the time. Okay, I know there's been a lot of questions running by here as I was talking, so let me quickly have a look here and see if I can see anything. Do I need a visa? Will Trump find out? No, you don't need a visa. Once you learn to rip through Local MASH, it's like a Swiss Army knife. That's Marty, and yes, he's absolutely correct. There are so many little nuances to this program, and boy, the data that you get is fabulous. Okay, you just do a local area to sell some sort of digital or even items from Amazon or anything that is within that niche, correct? Yes, that's correct, Cindy. You can, if you're just marketing it in a particular area, you can take your list, your state list, and like I showed you, you could break it right down to a county or 3 counties, whatever you want to cover in that area. And that may be a good way for you to start to see whether you get any responses in certain areas is by doing that for very specific areas. So Google give the best information to the customers. Yep, that's exactly right, Douglas. So when you think about this, you can use this for product, services, any kind of thing that you want, just as long as Google can read it. They get a better idea of who might be interested in your product because you're letting them know that your product is for people in this local area. Any other questions that anybody might have? So I think we've pretty much covered it and its use for how we might use it in OTP, because I know that's what is on most people's thoughts right now. But the list that we get given here, we can manipulate any way we want. Like I say, the original file I saved was a CSV file, so we can bring that into any spreadsheet that we like. We could actually take this list and we'll go Control-A, Control-C, and if we like, we could bring it right into our notepad and do any little work we might want to do inside of there. So it really makes things so much easier to target specific geographic regions, like I say, whether it's local or whether you're going on a national basis as well. Okay, and that's it for B-Snitch Edition.
Okay, guys. Well, that should pretty much wrap it up. Some more things that I may choose to cover, and you guys can tell me as we do some surveys or whatever things you like to cover. We use a lot of spreadsheets, or I do anyway, and I love to occasionally give some spreadsheet type tips. Like, for example, spreadsheet veterans, this will be old hat too, but did you know about the format painter? This works in Word, Excel, Google Sheets, and all of that. But let's say let's say I want this section right here.
You know, you're not showing your screen, right?
No, I guess I forgot.
Let me just show a quick trick before I let go here.
All right, sure.
I did want to show you one other thing that I will tend to do, and let me get off of that particular thing. Just open up a blank page so that you guys aren't getting blinded here. Down on the bottom, you'll notice that I have I position right on my taskbar the remote desktop connection tool. And by having it there, it allows me, for instance, I'm on my remote here. So if I close out of that, there's my tool sitting right there on my desktop, nothing there. If I right mouse click on it, it lets you pin as many machines as you want, and it'll show you the last 10 you're at. So if I want to go log on to this machine, I just click that button and it logs me in, and there I am. Now, a lot of people don't realize the power of the remote desktop connection tool, but if you put it down here on your taskbar, it's readily available to you. And like I say, right mouse click, you've got the last 10 sites you've been to, and you've got any that you want to pin. If I want to pin this one, I just come over here and click on that pin, and it moves it up into the top. So it's a real cute little trick that you can use with the remote desktop connection to get at many different remotes. Many of us have 1, 2, 3, or even more remotes. So this is a real good way to have your remotes right at the top so you can always get at them. If you needed to get to another one, you can just click this and it brings up the standard dialog. You can type in whatever you want. So just thought I would bring that one up because a lot of people have asked me about remote desktop connection. So Rod, let me get rid of mine. Go ahead and share your screen again.
Okay, Kim, did you have anything to add to anything Doug said or anything that I've said recently?
No, not right now.
One thing that I like to do, we use a lot of spreadsheets, and I found out that a lot of people aren't even aware of the fact that there's a.
And you're going to share that screen with us, right?
I thought I did.
No, not yet.
Jeez Louise. Let me get back to it. All right. I click share your screen, and then I click this one.
Still not seeing it, Rod. There it is.
Okay.
There you go. You're sharing.
Now I'm going to go over to a spreadsheet, right? And this is a Google sheet, but you can also use any kind of this. Everything I'm going to show you works in Excel and even Word in some cases. For example, if I have, you'll notice I do a lot of formatting and stuff to highlight things so I can easily find it. Let's say I want this to be the same format as this. I just go click on the area that I like the format for, click the format painter, click the square that I wanted to have that format, and generally it will transfer not only the format but the font as well. For some reason it didn't this time. I'll try it again here. Click, click. Well, it's giving me the formatting, but it's keeping the font color the same. But a lot of times I do this. Let's say I want it to be the pink background. I click that, and there it transferred not only the font and the colors, but every bit of the formatting. So that's called the format painter. It's readily available in the Google Sheets. It's in Excel. It's in WordPress. Sometimes you have to find it and make it pinned to your most used tools for Excel. So we can show lots of different Excel and Word type shortcuts and tips. One that I like is, people ask me how do I do these squares, for example, because if I go to the typical checklist here, it doesn't have the square. It doesn't normally have the square. Well, if you click here and you go down to define new bullet and you choose symbol, you can make any of these a bullet. And I just chose the 3-dimensional square. So you can make a little checklist there. And then another thing people ask me sometimes when I'm typing anywhere, I can type a degree symbol. How did I do that? Oh my goodness. Well, I just held down there's a whole page of what they call alt symbols. Copied, okay, right here. I think is what I wanted. You can find these different kinds of symbols and what's the alt code for getting them. Well, two of my favorites are the degree symbol, which is alt 248, and I like the approximately equal, which is alt 247. So those will work in anywhere in Windows. If you're in a Word document, in a notepad, anywhere. If you've got a Word document up and you want that symbol, I just hold the Alt key down and go 248 and the number keyboard, and there's the degree symbol. And if I want the approximately equal one, I go Alt 247. So you kind of end up memorizing the codes for your favorite types of symbols. Just another type of trick. And that's all the tips and tricks for today.
Yep. That was pretty cool.
I did see one question that we didn't really address as well as we could have, and I think we'll probably try to hit it more. Sylvia had a great question about, is there a way to find out if a niche is converting or not? Well, whether it's converting depends a whole lot on who's marketing it and how are they marketing it. But nevertheless, you can find. We're going to talk more when I get into the sections on keywords. We're going to do a lot on finding keywords with high commercial intent. Commercial intent is what indicates when a buyer is putting in this keyword, how close is he to the buying decision? For example, if I just type in cars, I'm probably there's no telling what I'm looking for. But if I type in a specific model of car and year of a car, I might be getting pretty close to hitting the buy button. And if I was typing that in and you were able to flash that a model of that car at a good price in front of me, there's a high likelihood I would check out going and buying that car, if that makes any sense. So we're going to talk about how do I find keywords with high commercial intent. And that'll be in an upcoming webinar. So you're just going to have to tune in one of these upcoming weeks.
Okay. We've broached the 1 hour mark. And I guess we should let these good people go for the rest of the night.
You guys have a great night. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Really appreciate it.